What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Jessica Jones, Season 2, Episode 12. Pray for my Patsy. Gee, I wonder where this is gonna go. Because I swear, there are just so many moments where I'm thinking to myself, I wonder where this is gonna go, because it's just so obvious that you couldn't possibly not guess. At the beginning of the episode, Jessica's mother obviously is running rampant. She's freaking out, trying to find Trish because she knows she's the one that had something to do with it. And all I'm thinking is, okay, so let me guess. We don't want to tell her where Trish is. The episode is titled "Pray for My Patsy." I wonder if Trish's mom is going to get on the news and say something about "Pray for my Patsy." 5 minutes later, it's exactly what happening. It's so obvious. The stuff with Dorothy and Jessica. I mean, Jessica's like, go ahead, tell me. I know it's all my fault, right? I'm like, let me guess. She's going to say it's not her fault, right? She says it's not her fault. She actually makes up with her. I almost expected Jessica to be like, you're drunk, aren't you? She'd be like, maybe a little bit. But they didn't do that, so I was like, oh, okay, so maybe Dorothy is actually growing. And then she finds out about Jessica's mom, and the whole attack happens, and then it's just like, oh, I can't believe you, I knew you were a bad seed, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, okay, so she didn't change at all. Fantastic. When Jessica's mom attacks Trish, Jessica finally gets through to her, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, she just broke through. Gee, could the cops that Jessica ran away from possibly show up right at this moment and cause a problem? They show up, shoot her mom in the leg, and then she grabs the black cop that hasn't trusted Jessica this entire season, and then falls out the window with her and kills her. Which, of course, then the other cop that has trusted Jessica this whole season's like, I shouldn't have trusted you in the first place. I was wrong to trust you. I mean, you just got my partner killed. How could you? I mean, it's not the fact that we showed up just in the nick of time, to ruin the whole situation. That's not what got her killed. No. It's the fact that I trusted you. In fact, the fact that I didn't trust you enough to stay put and let you handle the situation. I didn't trust you, and that's what got us into the room. But because of that, then I trusted you in that situation, which then means that it's your fault that she's dead because I trusted you in the room, but not before we got in Through some weird, logical, not really logical train of thought, he finds a way to blame Jessica for it, because we need the cops to not trust Jessica, so she has a reason to go on her own to her mom and sneak away from the whole thing, because we got to make it not as straightforward as possible. It's just by the numbers, paint by numbers, we need this to be more difficult than it should be. I know, let's have something happen that causes the detectives not to trust Jessica. It's just playing out so by the book. By the end of it, she's lures her mom into the apartment. Trisha's saying, you have to be the one to take her down. She's got the gun pointed at her. I'm like, yeah, let me think. So she's not going to have the strength to do it because she didn't have the strength to murder a guy in cold blood before. The only time, okay, she's killed one person in cold blood, and that was Kilgrave. And that was because she was saving the lives of everybody around her. Trish was involved. There were several other innocent bystanders involved. She killed him in cold blood. It's the only time that she's done it on her own volition. Kilgrave made her kill Luke Cage's, was it his girlfriend or sister or wife? I don't remember now. But Kilgrave made her do that, so that wasn't even her. And then she killed that one warden guy. She killed him in self-defense. She had pepper spray in her eyes. She just happened to grab the baton and bash him upside the head. He was about to beat the crap out of her, so not really killing him in cold blood. And then she had a chance to kill the doctor who experimented on her and experimented on her mom and turned her mom into a monster. She didn't kill him in that instance. Do you really think that I'm going to think, oh, she's going to totally kill her mom at the end of this episode? Of course not. It's so obvious that she's not going to have the strength to do it, and then her mom is going to get the upper hand on her because she has a gun pointed at her head. Now, I don't know what her mom's going to do, and that's probably the only thing that I can't predict right now. I do not know where this last episode is going at all, because her mom has her in some van and is driving her somewhere. I don't know where. But yeah, I mean, everything else, though, in this episode was just completely predictable. And that's kind of disappointing. I was hoping it would take it somewhere new and somewhere I did not expect at all. And honestly, I'm I'm waiting to see what they're gonna do with this last episode to subvert my expectations, because if it plays out exactly how I'm expecting it to, it's gonna be Jessica is gonna have a choice to make. Do you kill your mom to save your new family and Trish and maybe Dorothy? I doubt Dorothy's gonna be involved. Malcolm may be there, but she's gonna have a choice. Either she kills her mom and saves the lives of other people, or she doesn't kill her mom and lets her mom live, and then everybody around her dies. Either that, or they're going to go the storyline of her mother's terrorizing people and she has a chance to put her down or send her to the raft, which I thought they were going to lead to for the final episode, but then they did it in this last episode. So now I'm not sure if they're going to do that again. So I doubt they're going to do that, which makes me think either kill your mom or, your friends die type of situation. So yeah, I mean, hope they have something different in mind, but based on this last episode, I'm not expecting it because they've been pretty predictable. The stuff with Trish maybe can be interesting. I don't know where it's going. We see her finally wake up in this episode. She's still acting like a complete idiot. She's blaming Jessica for this whole situation. I'm just like, somebody, whoever wrote Trish's character for this season needs to be fired immediately because they were idiots. Because honestly, they took one of the better characters, one of the better female characters, honestly, in the Marvel Netflix universe. I mean, Karen is probably the only female I liked more than Trish in the first round of Netflix shows. All the other female characters, I was either indifferent or I just thought they were kind of eh. But I thought Trish was pretty cool. She doesn't have any powers, but she's still out there doing stuff. She's trying to help Jessica. She wants to help her. She was a good sister. They had their moments where they'd fight, but they always, family broke through in the end. But this season, she just turned into a whiny little bitch and made me not like her anymore. And I'm just like, how can you do that to a female character? So that was frustrating. But we do see in this episode, she wakes up. She finally tells Jessica, you have to be the one to take her out. You have to be the one to kill her. And then Dorothy comes in the room, and of course she's being all, we're going to get you to a better hospital with a better view. I can't believe they put you in this graveyard. I mean, it's not like there's some crazed killer coming after you, and they brought you down here for your protection. I mean, that's just... I hate Dorothy. I swear, whenever Dorothy said that about Carl in this episode when she was talking on the news, she's like, she was experimented on by some deranged, crazed man. I'm like, oh, please, dear God, let Alyssa go and kill Dorothy. That would save this season for me. But no, she still goes after Trish. But yeah, so she's sitting there saying all this, and then Trish is like, I'm dying. I'm just like, wait, what? Like, huh? And we don't hear, beep. We don't hear it getting like slower or faster or anything. We just still going, and she's just sitting there. All of a sudden, she just blank look in her eyes. Like, why is... But the heartbeat theme is still going, right? Like, there's no beep. So, what? And all of a sudden, she just seizes up, and like her eyes roll back in her head, and it looks like she's being possessed by something. Now, are they going to take it somewhere like that? I do know there are, like you've got Ghost Rider in the Marvel Universe, so there are, like, talking about devil and demons and possessing and stuff like that. Is that where they're going with this? Because there are moments where it seems like maybe Jessica's mom is possessed by something when she truly, like, loses it. It seems like she gets possessed by some monster. Is that where they're going with this? Like, the experimenting they were doing is actually possessing them with some sort of thing that's causing them to lose it? And maybe that's even where Kilgrave comes into Jessica's mind, is whatever was put inside of her is like, that's what it turned into in her mind. It turned into Kilgrave messing with her. But because she's special, she has the power to control it or something along those lines. If that's where they're going with it, might be interesting. Maybe. Possibly. But it seems too late in the game to just suddenly throw that into the mix. But yeah, we'll see where that's going. And then the most crucial, like absolutely crucial part of this episode, because good Lord, they must have taken like 20 minutes with it almost. Probably not that long, but it felt like it. Yeah, the whole story with Jerry, and God, I was just on the edge of my seat the whole time. I'm like, oh, Jerry's tracking down the people that stole her stuff. Oh, what's she gonna do next? Oh, she's talking to somebody who has her stuff. Oh, no. Oh, is she going to get the information about him? Oh, she did. Oh, gosh. Oh, what's going to happen next? Oh, Turk. She's talking to Turk. Okay. Oh, he gave her a gun. She's going to try to kill them. Oh, my God. Is Jerry going to kill somebody? I'm so invested in this right now. Oh, okay. Oh, no. No, she gave the gun to Inez and let her kill him. Oh, my gosh. And Inez is talking about how she sleeping with Jerry was not part of the plan, and oh, the feels, man. Oh, maybe there was something there, and then Jerry just turned them on each other, and oh man, what a story, what a story. Oh, it just so perfectly crafted to waste my time. Just so good. It had me tearing up a little bit at the end because I had smacked my forehead so hard after watching all that I started to cry. God. Yeah. So, I mean, enough said. I don't need to talk about Jerry anymore. I hope they don't talk about her. I hope she just doesn't even show up in the last episode. It's like, we just wasted your entire season on this story. And the reason this pisses me off, honestly, and I already talked about this a little bit in the last review, but the fact that we spent so much time here, and like I said, they had some more interesting stories that they could have been telling, like the story with Jessica and Kilgrave in her mind, the story with Trish trying to be like Jessica, becoming jealous of her and her powers, and slowly descending into this, I want to be that, I want to have those powers. But instead, we got a lot of time devoted to Jerry and her ALS, and then meeting these people, which apparently her ALS really isn't affecting her anymore. Like, we don't see her ever dealing with that. So, is it really gone? Because it kind of seems like it at this point. But anyway, like I said, I really don't care. It's been a waste of time. It's like, why bring this up at all? Her nearly losing her job because of this. Why do we care? What does this have to do with Jessica and IGH and what's going on with her mom and Trish? Nothing. It is literally just a side story. So, yeah. All in all, still not really impressed, but one episode to go, so I'll see you guys there. And finally, episode 13, Playland. So, last episode, and yeah, what a super exciting, interesting, fun, exciting... It doesn't help that it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm already tired. But then on top of that, yeah, it's just not that entertaining, honestly. And I guess they're trying to go for a bit more of a character study than they were a superhero show in this case, which can be interesting. But they didn't do an interesting enough job of getting me invested in these characters. So when she and her mom are traveling across the country, and her mom is like, "Hey, join me. We can do this together." Jessica even throws in, "Oh, I've heard that before." I'm like, "Yeah, we've definitely seen this before." Except in this case, it's her mom, and her mom actually does want to do some good things. And it's like, oh, okay. So is this going to lead somewhere different? Is this actually going to be a unique ending? Like, maybe she's actually going to team up with her mom, and we're going to end this season. Maybe she's off in some other country helping people while everybody is, like, still trying to track them down, but they're being vigilantes in the background, hiding out, but saving the world one person at a time. Are we going to do something like that? No. Please. Something different? Something original? In our day and age? Oh, man. If anybody actually thought this was going to end any differently than her mom dies and Jessica goes back to doing her job, you have not seen any sort of TV or movies ever. Because clearly that's what they're going to do. Now, how they get there, I will admit I wasn't able to predict until when we were getting close to it, because I wasn't sure. I felt like it was going to end with Jessica having to make a choice between killing her mother or something else. So the fact that Trish ends up killing Jessica's mom was something that I wasn't really expecting. I mean, obviously, once Trish got out of her bed and pulled all of her stuff out, I'm just like, I wonder if she's going to go maybe mess up what Jessica and her mom are doing right now. Because she's an idiot, and once again, whoever wrote her for this season needs to be fired. But yeah, so that was about the only thing that caught me off guard, but even then, it didn't I guess it didn't really catch me off guard. It's just whenever Trish got out of her hospital bed and somehow made it out of the hospital without anybody seeing her, I was like, okay, so now I kind of get a sense of Trish is going to do something that's going to cause something bad to happen. So yeah, it was pretty predictable again. The stuff with Jerry and Malcolm, I don't know. It's like they spent this whole season with Jerry she had her ALS, they were trying to get her out of the business, and then she didn't want to, and then the whole thing with Inez and her boyfriend, and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. And then ultimately Malcolm solves her case for her, gets it to where now she can extort more money out of her business partners and form her own business. And then Malcolm tries to work for her, and she's like, no, I'm not going to. I'm like, huh. So basically this whole season, like, we've been following Jerry, supposed to feel sorry for her, and then at the end of the season, she's still a dick. Like, why? Why do we care about Jerry? This is like the second season in a row where we followed her for most of the season, and it's like, oh, you're supposed to care about her, guys. Like, you're supposed to care what happens to Jerry Hogarth. And in both seasons, I'm like, she's a absolutely terrible person. The only way that they can make up for this is if she's like the bad guy in season 3. I don't know how they could do it. That maybe they give her superpowers somehow. Maybe she becomes like the Lex Luthor of the Marvel Netflix cinematic universe. Like all of a sudden she starts recruiting all these bad guys to work for her, and then Jessica and everybody else have to work together to stop her. That would be the only way that would make sense why we're taking so much freaking time out of this 2 seasons to focus on Jerry Hogarth. At least in the first season, it was Kilgrave convinced her wife to kill herself. That was like, okay, well, at least it had an interesting ending. This season, what happened? She started off the season, she learned she had ALS, her business partners tried to force her out of the company. End of the season, after she's been robbed and then convinced the girl who robbed her to kill the boyfriend that also robbed her, then she gets Malcolm to find information that can steal most of her business back from her partners while pretty much putting them out of business. Like, great, you're a terrible person. What did we learn? And then Malcolm ends up joining with Chang because there had to be a reason why Chang was in this season at all. Here's your reason why, guys, because Malcolm's going to go work for him now, and they're going to work together and help Jerry with some sort of business venture that apparently Jessica is going to be not for some reason. It's just like, let's give them a reason to come back for season 3. I know, let's have Malcolm and Chang doing something suspicious. Ooh, guys, what is that? Come back to season 3 to find out. So yeah, that's kind of random. As far as Jessica's concerned, most of this episode is spent with her starting off being like, I'm not working with you, I can't believe you did this to me, and then slowly starts to realize, oh, wait, but you're my mom, and maybe I should be with you, all for that to come crashing down when Trish kills her. And then ultimately, she's working by herself, and then she ends the season with, oh yeah, but I need to change, so let's go up to the guy that has a kid that I've been hooking up with periodically throughout the season. And that's pretty much the main change she goes through. For Trish, it was really funny to me at the beginning of this episode because the predictability of the season was kind of off the charts. But the beginning of this episode was like the pièce de résistance of all of the predictability, because she's sitting there, Trish in her bed, and her mom is sitting there still acting like an overprotective mom because she hasn't changed one freaking bit, and if she does not die in season 3, I will find the writers of the show, hunt them down, and just murder them all because, God, I hate Dorothy. But she's sitting there, she's like, oh my gosh, my little baby, see, I knew you were going to be okay, I knew you were like, talking to her like she's 5, and I'm like, first of all, doctor, you just brought your patient back from the dead pretty much, and you're just going to let her mom be all like hugging all over her? No. That's when the doctor says in and says, give her space, because she just came back from near-death experience. But whatever, the doctor's incompetent. And so Dorothy's talking to Trish, And Trish is just like, I need to help Jessica. She's like, no, you can't. What are you gonna do? You're not a hero. Look, I didn't do the best job, but I'm just human, same as you. Like, how many times do you want to keep rubbing it? Just why don't you go ahead and say, thank goodness that operation didn't actually give you superpowers, because if it did, God, what a shock that would be. I mean, the entire audience watching our TV show right now should just go ahead and expect you to have powers by the end of this episode, because, I mean, goodness, I'm pretty much laying it on thick about how human you are, not special, and you don't have powers, and blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the episode, whenever she's walking down the hallway and it's like holding on her, I'm like, okay, so what's she gonna, like, press the button, it's gonna, like, crack, or... And then the lady walks out, knocks her phone up in the air, unrealistically, because whenever somebody backs into you, why do you go, oh, oh, cool, whatever. Yeah, the phone falls, and then she uses, like, her reflexes, catches it on her foot, and then tosses it back up to her hand, so, I don't know. She's Spider-Woman, I guess, because, yeah. Maybe Trish Walker in the comics is some sort of hero. If not, then they're just trying to find a way to give everybody powers in the show. Or they just felt like, oh, we didn't have Trish do enough in the first season, even though she was kind of being a badass without powers. So let's make her focused on powers this season just to give her powers by the end of it. It kind of reminds me of Wally West a little bit in The Flash, because there's so... He was Kid Flash in a different timeline, and then Barry changed the timeline, and so he didn't have powers anymore. And then he was so focused on those powers, and I'm thinking to myself, it feels like he's so focused on it, maybe he should just learn to be happy without it. And it seemed like maybe he was getting there. He was slowly just accepting the fact that, okay, I just need to be okay without powers. I need to be okay with myself. And then he gets powers. I'm like, okay, why have that story arc then? Why have the whole plot line of, oh, you need to be okay with just yourself if you're just going to give him powers in the end? Then he doesn't need to be. And it kind of mucks up the moral a little bit too, which is just because you don't have powers does not mean you cannot be incredible without them. And I'll reference The Flash again. Sister Iris West, she's proven throughout the many seasons, and obviously I don't know how the latest season ended, and I don't know what's going on in the current season, but before now, it was proven that Iris was very effective even without powers, because she, first of all, she started being a team leader, which was pretty cool, but on top of that, she was a good reporter, she was very strong-headed, she was not willing to back down from a fight, so she was going to be who she was, and that's what made Iris awesome. And then they had that one episode, Run, Iris, Run, where all of a sudden she gets the Flash's powers because, oh, she just feels unimportant to the team, and God, why am I even here? God, I can't do what you guys can do because I don't have powers. Because you don't need them. And it's the same thing with Trish. Season 1, she didn't need powers. Because she was just Trish Walker. She was doing what she was doing. That's all she needed to do. And then this season it's like, oh, let's just make her really focused on powers, and then we're going to give her powers because we need to give her a purpose. You dumbasses gave her a purpose in season 1, and then you just forgot about it. And it's just so frustrated with that. I know I'm really, really ranting on this one topic, but it really does piss me off when they take a character like that who doesn't need to be all of that, who doesn't need to have some sort of purpose, who can just be a badass on their own. And they take that and they just muck it all up with something stupid like this. I feel like every show has a character like that. Oh, that character is awesome. I hope they keep that character because that character really, really stuck it out. And I'm glad that he or she was on there. And then season 2 or season 3 rolls along, and it's like, oh God, like what happened? Where's that character that I was just like, yes, they're awesome. Now they're just completely different. So, all in all, final thoughts on the season. I mean, it was kind of poor, and I was not expecting that. Up until now, Iron Fist was average, and I know a lot of people hate it. I haven't seen season 2 yet, but honestly, it was the only one that stood out to me as like not good. It was okay. There were some fun moments. There were a lot of goofy moments as well, and it kind of balanced out to just being okay, average. The other ones, every other season, I was like, that was good. that was thoroughly enjoyable. I had fun with it. Some of them were actually well-written stories. I thought Jessica Jones Season 1 was probably the best written story out of all of them. Luke Cage had a good heart and a good moral about, the togetherness, being together, fighting together. Daredevil had some great action, some great cinematography on such a small budget. And Iron Fist Season 1, I thought at least had a good, dynamic in not Danny Rand and him, but the brother and sister whose names I now forget. But I thought they had a very good dynamic going on with them and their dead father who came back to life. I thought that was very interesting, and they took advantage of it. So every season had something that I'm just like, yes, that was fantastic. And it lasted at least half a season. This season of Jessica Jones, the Kilgrave episode, the only one that stood out to me as being decent. The rest of them just were not that enjoyable. Even at the beginning of the season, I remember thinking to myself, okay, it's kind of got my interest. It's a little mysterious, like what's going on. And then once we find out what's going on, the mystery is gone. There were no plot twists. There's nothing that made me go, oh, I never saw that coming. There's nothing to figure out. And for a show where your main character is a private eye, that's not good. That's kind of what made Season 1 pretty interesting, was seeing how she was going to find out what's going on with Kilgrave, how she's going to find out what his plan is, how she's going to find out a way to trick him or to one-up him, because it took a while before we finally realized he was trying to find a way to get Jessica back under his control because he didn't have control over her anymore. When we found that out, it was pretty late in the season, but there were clues throughout the season that that's what was going on. And whenever we found that out, it's like, oh, that's good. I like that. He's trying to figure out, because she's the one person that he cannot control anymore, he's trying to find a way to get that control back over her, because she's the one person that can now resist him. I love that twist. It was good, it was well crafted, and it's part of what made that story, aside from the fact that Kilgrave was a great villain, it made that story so much more interesting. This season, it was like the biggest twist was that her mother was the bad guy. And then after that, nothing else. It was just about, oh, is her mother going to be good? Is she going to be bad? Is she a monster? Is she not a monster? Is the guy helping her? Is he good? Is he bad? And ultimately, it just turns out everybody has their dark secrets, and then the people who don't end up dead or kicked out of the show. See you later, Griffin. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm really disappointed, because I've come to expect highly of these Netflix shows, and this one just didn't capture my interest. The side stories were not interesting. The main story was pretty bland for the most part. I mean, it just didn't lead to much of anything. It felt like it was just all leading to nothing. The biggest changes we got for this season, Jessica now has a boyfriend who has a kid. Malcolm is now working for another private eye who's now working for Jerry. Trish now has powers. That's pretty much it. The story didn't actually affect anyone this season. Oh, Jessica's saving people. She was kind of doing that after the Defenders, though. So, kind of repeated the storyline. But anyway, yeah, so that's it for this season. Hopefully Luke Cage Season 2 is better, and then obviously Daredevil Season 3 came out recently, so I'm going to watch that one too. Don't know how long it's going to take me. I do know December is going to be very, very busy for me, so I may not get a whole lot of reviews in throughout December. I'm glad I was able to get some in right now in November, and I'll probably be able to finish Luke Cage before the end of November, but yeah, I'm really, really hoping that it's better than this. So anyway, that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on these two episodes and also the season in general? Let me know. We can talk about, discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Jessica Jones and Marvel Netflix shows reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.